always been the outcast. I know it's so hard to believe, but yes, I have always been the outcast. I have never, ever been a part of any big group of friends in my whole life. Ever. Never. I maybe had one or two friends growing up, but I was always alone. I was always the outsider, and I never had it be a negative thing. It never bothered me. It was something I actually embraced, and I like that. I see so many people trying to fit in, and so many people just trying to become something that they're not. It's exhausting. It really is exhausting how people literally will do and say anything and transform into somebody that they're not even. Say things that they would never even say so that they can somehow be accepted. You know how they say, like, all of us just want to be accepted? No, that's not true. I think sheep want to be accepted. I think people who are highly intelligent, very self-aware, and woke, if we want to use that new term that everybody's using, I think woke people, they don't want to be accepted. They want to just kind of do things on their own. And I think most people who are woke nowadays, I'd like to consider myself woke. Not by choice, but there's certain things that I've gone through that have forced me to open my eyes to maybe some deeper realities that we have in our world. I'm really grateful for that. And I'm really blessed that I went through that, because if I were to exist in this kind of rat race world, especially for women, and I really do hate feminism, and I hate feminism, you guys. Feminism is fake. It is so awful. I was going to say it's cancer, but that's a horrible thing to say. Feminism is not real. Feminism has evolved into some sort of scapegoat for whatever issue a person who feels slighted by society is facing. I'm finding, and tell me if you guys have noticed this, right? In my humble opinion, I think feminism, sorry, this side keeps popping up and this side is flat. It's the woes of the Little Hair Club. I think feminism in the year 2019 is truly the entitled person's scapegoat. I think people will use the cover, or women are using this cover of feminism, if they somehow did not get something that they felt entitled to, or they were too lazy to work for it on their own, or they just have these, defeatist type attitudes where it didn't work for me, it shouldn't work for anybody else. I never even liked the concept of feminism to begin with. I never really thought it was a thing. Yeah, years ago, women had not as many rights as men. Yeah, women had to fight and die and climb and scratch to get certain privileges, especially now with this whole abortion thing that's going on, which is bullshit. I read something this morning that it may not even pass because it's considered unconstitutional. It is. You can disagree with it all you want. Getting rid of the choice, that's the meat of the issue, okay? But back to feminism, why I think it's a joke. Feminism and many things nowadays, unfortunately, that we are so entitled, and people are such crybabies over so many things that we're reverting back to the times when people actually had to fight for real things, had real challenges, that we are reverting back to those times and pulling whatever labels or fancy slogans from those times and applying them to today, and they're totally different. People who are using this like feminism thing, even the Me Too movement, which I don't like either. And I'm a woman, and I'll tell you why I don't like it. Because it comes across as we hate men, and any man that does this has to be a predator. And it's also incredibly, incredibly opportunistic. And when you have the internet, and you have people in Hollywood that are yearning for relevance and yearning to maintain some sort of a career, and it's as easy as latching on to whatever's trending, whatever current cause is trending, yes, that breeds opportunistic people. I've seen it in action. I've met them. And people will do anything and say anything to latch onto a cause if they know it will A, bring their career back from the depths of hell, bring them money, and bring them more attention. You have to remember, like 50 years ago, before we even had the internet, before we even had TV, those times where we had to wait, sometimes even months, even before newspapers. Well, no, this was a little bit after newspapers, but when they had the newsreels in the movies, where they would do the, they would have, like, in black, I think they were called the newsreels, right? Like, before the movies, they would do little black and white newsreels of the latest breaking news all over the world. You would have no idea what was going on in the world, the actual issues, truly, until maybe months later. So, there were actual things happening, and these people were in the streets, fighting for things, dying for things, protesting things, knowing no one's going to see you unless you're there. Nobody was going to take their picture. Nobody was going to put their video that evening and have it go viral. They were just showing up to places that night and fighting for a cause because they believed in it. Nowadays, when you have people showing up at most of these protests and most of these marches, I think it's all just for opportunity. It's all an opportunistic kind of like haven where people will just show up because they have nothing else better to do, and the mob mentality just overtakes them, and it's something to do. It's something out of the normal day-to-day, which I get. Let's just pretend it's an issue, okay? So the Me Too movement, I would probably say 5% of the people are telling the truth. The rest is all opportunity, which is really sad because I'm a woman. And I know that there's actual victims out there of sexual abuse, sexual harassment, things like that. But when you have these sort of like Hollywoodized, sort of gimmicky things nowadays with the internet, it takes a lot of credibility out of really serious issues. And that's why I think feminism today is a joke. And I think anybody that wants to call something that they're fighting for as feminism, it's a bit of a knock, and it's a bit of a kind of, it kind of makes me feel like all these women that started up the women that actually in the suffrage movement that genuinely fought for rights are kind of rolling over in their grave. It's my personal feeling. I just can't take these people seriously because I can look into their eyes and know if they're telling the truth or not. I'm very good with energy. I'm very good with just knowing someone's character and kind of summing them up by just looking at them in their face. And most of them are just doing it for fame or attention. And that's too bad. Just be very weary. Just question everything. Question everything, you know? In this day and age, if lots of people like something, it must be true. Right? I've talked about this in other videos. That is not the case. Just because there's lots of people talking about it does not mean it's true. It means lots of people are talking about it. And lots of people are getting attention about it. From it. Just think. Think. And think about what I said about questioning everything. We kind of do live in a time of opportunism at its finest, where you don't really need to prove anything. You really don't. Proof is in the likes. Proof is in the views. If the views are there, if the likes are there, it must be true. Or is it?